This is Hawaii Technologies Company Limited with additional DIT. Section 919. Income deemed to accrue and arise in India through what business connection in Indian subsidiary constituted dependent agency permanent establishment. And the service permanent establishment and fixed place of permanent establishment. Income from supply of equipment to assessee as a business income arising from the business connection or permanent establishment in India. Survey income determined on the basis of statement of correct recorded and also by analyzing the evidence. Assessment valid and DTAA Indio China. Hawaii. Hyundai. Okay, we'll see. What we'll see. So how they account is we'll see. Tribunal held that fact on record, clearly establishing that Indian subsidiary was economically dependent on the assessee, and it is handled the work of installation of telecommunication equipment supplied by the assessee on technical support provided by the assessee. So in India, they are assembling it and they're selling. And they have found out these factors is clearly economically dependent for them. Further, the business of the Indian subsidiaries are established wholly and exclusively on equipment supplied by the assessee. So their business is based on our working. In fact, Indian subsidiary come to existence with an intent to aid the business of assessee in India. So the Indian business is only main aid for them. Yeah, without working they can't do. The fact on record clearly shown that Indian subsidiaries are not capable of supplying the equipment that it is binding for. So we can't supply the product, not capable of supplying the equipment for its binding. The product to be supplied must cater to specific requirement of the customer. In fact, the business of the associate in India was totally dependent on Indian subsidiaries. However, the Indian subsidiaries are not capable of supplying the equipment since the technology know-how and capability was owned by the associate. Associate has a whole technology how to do everything. So the Indian subsidiary could not have a bid on this one, which mean that Indian subsidiaries are economically dependent on this assessee. So we also depend on them, they depend on us. Indian subsidiaries not only constitute a dependent agent permit establishment of assessee, but also a service permit establishment within the meaning of Article 5 of Double Taxation Avoidance Agreement between India and China. So it is not only constitute as a dependent agent permit establishment of assessee, but also a service permit establishment. So we do the service for them. Tribune also held that the equipment, that is the hardware supplied by the assessee, contain the hardware, software, and the software not separately supplied. So software is not separate from the hardware. However, the buyer was granted a non-exclusive, non-transferable, non-sub-licensable license you to use the software. So non-exclusive, non-transferable, non-subleasable license to use the software they have been given. A buyers was granted no title or no ownership right or no interest in that software. Buyer has no right over the software, but they can use it, but they can't sell it, they can't separate it. There was only one contract for supply of equipment which includes hardware and software both, and therefore income from supply of equipment was to be assessed as a business income arising from associate's business connection. So this income arises from through business income. Okay. The permanent establishment in India. Therefore, the assessing officer was to work out that assessee income accordingly. Tribunal held that assessment was made on the basis of statement of record in the course of survey as well, considering the documentary evidence. Hence, assessment is valid. Oh my God. Huawei technologies. So we assembled here. Huawei is totally depend on India, but we don't have the know-how to have the parts. We are the service linked establishment, service linked partner establishment. Okay. So in this case, we are the main source. We assemble everything to give to Hawaii. Without us, they don't use. But what the parts is assembled, that parts has only selling the parts, but the software inside it is embedded. They have the know-how. They are not selling that to any customer. So in this case, the assessment is made. The income accrued arise in India is a business income. arising from the business connection of a permanent establishment. That was it. Assess the business income arising connection also permanent establishment in India. That was it. So that assessment is valid. That what been held here. Thank you.